The communication tools needed to run a successful business keeps changing. At KKP Halifax, we're expanding our capabilities to keep pace. We deliver consistent high quality while meeting promised deadlines. KKP Halifax, a division of the Quick Copy Group of companies.
John Moore alongside Dartmouth Whalers minor hockey coach Morgan Watts, 51 years of age, father of 3, and a former Humboldt Bronco. Morgan, thanks for giving us some time here. I know it's been a difficult time. Tell me how you're coping.
I'm doing right now, John. It's been, like I said, it's been a really big struggle since last Friday night when I found out. I've been reaching out to a lot of former teammates back in '86, '87 who I played with, and they've been a huge support to me in regards to talking about what happened, how we can help the organization and the town moving forward, and that's been a big plus for me.
For those who are learning about Humboldt and learning about the Broncos, you were there for a year, and it was an incredible year. You almost came away with a Centennial Cup. But tell me a little bit about the community, what it meant to you, and the league, what it was like to play in that league.
Well, I tell you, the first day I got there, being from the East Coast, they took me with open arms. They treated me. They knew that we were going to be hosting the Nationals that year, and they knew I was there to do a job to win that national championship, and they supported me from day one. For me, it was amazing coming from Major Junior. It was like I never took a step back in regards to the way they treated their players. The dressing room was professional. For a Tier 2 team, I tell you, the facilities were top notch. Bernie Lynch, our coach, was an amazing coach with European experience. We had a very stacked team, and that's why we went 55-9 during the regular season, where it was pretty incredible.
The road. We've heard stories about the road, the travel in Saskatchewan. What can you tell me? Obviously, we know that there are great bonds that are formed on the road, on the buses, but tell me life on the road in that Saskatchewan junior hockey.
Yes, there's a lot of trips, Flim Flam, Manitoba. That was an 8-hour trip, if I'm not mistaken. The roads themselves are all single lanes, but you think about it as a hockey player, we travel in the buses. The buses for us are a time of bonding, stories, whether they're true or not, card games, homework, a lot of sleeping. But this is when the team grows. Everybody sits in their assigned seats for the season on the bus, and we grow. We battle through good games and bad games. And so when you do have an incident like this, it really hits home with every hockey player that's ever experienced a road trip, and all those great stories on the bus. So that's why everyone is so affected.
The alumni, obviously, I'm not sure when you may have been back to Humboldt if you were, but tell me a little bit about the alumni and how you may have reached out this week.
Once the incident occurred, we all got together, just amazing, on through Facebook and through Messenger, and we formed a 1986-87 Humboldt message book, and then we've all been communicating from that, and I've been talking to at least 16 to 18 former players with their experiences. Some players, their kids have been affected by this because they've actually played with some of the players that were injured in the accident. So it's been a good tool for us to try to see what we can do to help Humboldt get back to where they were prior to the accident.
Morgan, as I mentioned, with the Dartmouth Whalers minor hockey system, coaching a couple of teams, but I know you've been involved since the tragedy, and maybe you can talk a little bit how this minor hockey system is trying to come support the Broncos.
Yes, it's been amazing. Within 36 hours, the emails start going out through our president and through Sean, and with Beth and Bill Short, our technical director. They got on the ball right away, and they started reaching out to each team, asking them for support. Minimal donations, but to try to see if we could all get together and try to get some money together to get to the Humboldt Broncos organization so we could help them out. And I tell you, the response has been amazing. There was if I'm not mistaken, there was a midget C team that was eating lunch at a local restaurant, and a man came out and didn't even know the team and paid for their bill. And the money that they had saved up or used for their bill, they gave it to the Humboldt fund, and I think that just shows you the character within our organization, and it makes me proud to be a member of the Dartmouth Whalers.
let's go back to Friday night and tell me about how you learned and what has been the most difficult stretch here. It's obviously it's been difficult right across the board, but tell me what perhaps has been the most difficult moment for you.
Yeah. Actually, I was at the Mooseheads game Friday night, and on the drive home, my assistant coach, Glenn Dickey of my Pee Wee A team, sent me a message, and my heart just dropped. When I got home, I talked to my wife, and I started trying to reach out then and started putting pieces together. And then as I saw, as it unfolded about the people that were injured or killed, it just was so sad. It was hard for me not to hold back the tears. And every time I would talk to one of my players, we would cry together, and then we would try to tell stories to cheer ourselves up, just like being on the bus, that camaraderie. And from there, it's just grown. And I tell you, it's a very, very, very sad day. But Humboldt is a very strong place, and they will bounce back. I know they will.